Hey there. So I'm guessing you're here to buy a game or something. Yeah. Uh-huh. So it's between the Wii and Xbox, is it? Right. Well, if you want my help, then I'll give you I'll tell you a few differences between the two, and then I'll show you a few things that you can get with both, or the differences between them. So for the Wii, it's a lot more sporty, active. You've got a lot more movement games and things that you can sort of team plays, sports games and stuff like that. Because you get stuff like Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, and you have just loads of Olympic Games, and you can also tell that it's a lot more sporty because of the controller, which you do have to tie up here on the wrist so that it doesn't go flying places and smashing things around the house. So it is a lot more active and sporty, but obviously it varies. It has probably like the same amount of sporty games than normal games. So you prefer less sporty? Yeah. So obviously there are games that aren't like that, and some that are. It just depends on what you buy, really. And Xbox, a lot of the games are a lot more violent, but you can get a various different range of stuff, and the Xbox and the Wii both connect to the internet. You do have to, for the Xbox, you do have to get the Xbox Live, which you have to also buy unless you're getting a deal, to be able to connect to the internet. So it just depends whether you want to buy it or if you want like a pre-done thing, whatever. You want a deal? Okay. Well, before you decide completely, I think I should show you the different controllers. So I'll show you the Wii first because I started with that. So the Wii controller can be bought in many different colours, from pink to black basically, and it's a very simple controller. You have the speaker here which allows you to hear sound effects that are basically your movements that make a sound effect. So for example, if you shake your controller, it might make a certain sound because it has like detectors in it to sense movement. Right at the bottom you have 1 and 2, which can be used in different circumstances just depending on the game that you have. There's minus and plus buttons, which also sort of depending on that, and sometimes can be for volume if you're not playing a game. And then you have the home button right in the middle. It's not like all the other buttons which are sticking out, but so it can be a little difficult to press sometimes, but it's sort of like, it's not too difficult. Then you have the A button right there, which is to select things and do different things depending on the game you play. You also have the controlling one here, which is like sideways up, down, and the other side, which you use in various games as well. And then there's the off and on power button, and that is just to turn the console on and off. To turn the Wii remote off, you would have to do something else. It's not that button though. So it's an easy way to turn the Xbox off without having to go and turn it off, basically. You then have at the back this button here, which is the B. Here you can see it. And that you press for various different reasons. Most of it is, well, often it's to go back one. So yeah, And then the various different things about the controller is that you can turn it sideways. So if you're playing, for example, a racing game, then you can either do that, or if you're playing a racing game, you can use one of these things, which is this. You can buy, it comes with the Mario Kart. There's only one of them. The rest of them you buy, you can choose what you buy for the rest of the controllers, but it does tend to come with that one. To put it in, you just do that, and then once it's like above the slot, then you just press it down. Making sure that this doesn't get stuck. Sorry. I don't even know how to use this. Yeah, so you can just put it on. Oh, that's why. Okay, problem, that's just a little problem here. I got stuck, that's why it wasn't working. So if it is quite easy to put in, it's just that, and then press it down. There was a wire that was stuck before. And then you either attach it or you don't, depending on if you're doing a really like crazy race game or not. And it actually feels like a wheel. Like you've got this, which usually you'd have your little controls on. So yeah, do you want to take a look? Here you go. It's pretty good, eh? And it does feel very real because of the way it's made, and it's fitted for your hand, because you have two hands here and one hand here that you can put in. Anyway, this is just for one certain game, so I'll talk about the games a bit later. Okay, so that's that remote. With the remote as well, which you do get with the Wii, you have this, which is basically something. To use this, you just plug this in here, and then you get this. It's basically a long chain thingy, and this is a control stick that you can move around with or whatever. It also depends on the game. You can also press C and Z, which are not on the Xbox controller, but there's like there's different ones. So they have like their various different types. Also, what I forgot to mention is the back here, which is pretty easily opened. You just do that, and then you have a slot where the batteries should go. And to synchronise the things, there's a button just there to press it. I'm not going to be showing you the Xbox console, the Wii console, sorry, because there's not much point really, because they're both pretty much the same, and there's no really effects on it that you can use, and that's not going to really affect your playing. Depending on what type of Xbox or Wii you get, you can get different qualities and different graphics, and the games as well changes that, so it's not really going to affect it. For the Wii remote, you also get this. I think if you're on the deal, you can get one of these in your deal. It's like something to slot your Wii remote in. These are they're pretty hard to put in, like the Wii remote into the case, so I would suggest if you don't want something that's difficult to put like your Wii remote in, then I would suggest buying one yourself that you think will be easy to like use. Okay, I think I've covered everything for the Wii remote. Now Xbox remote. To be honest, personally I prefer the Xbox remote, just because it has all the controls on the same thing, so there's no wires or anything, and it's very easy to hold. It's always the same way. You don't have to check on the game if it's sideways or not. Some people prefer having a variation of different ways to hold it, but I think it's a lot more simple, and there's nothing really problem with this, only sometimes I do wish I had more thumbs. So I'm going to start by showing you the front. there's this area here, which is the little buttons that there's X here, Y, B and A, and these are basically your main playing buttons. You always use these, whatever game it is, you always do. I haven't seen a game that you don't, but yeah, so they're the ones that you mostly use. Then you have these, which are the controls. I'll show you the difference in this. So here you have your A button, which is here. They're both here. And your B button, this one's on the back and this one's here. And this one does not have a Y or X. Oh yeah, and then the like control ones are here and here. I also think that the touch of this one is a lot nicer because this one is, I feel, is a lot more like plasticky, because when you press it, it's sort of like plasticky, but it just depends on what control you get. You can have like different variations of controls. Then you have these two like controls that help you move around often in games, which I think this one's called, I don't even know the names, sorry, but you can press them as well. So as well as moving these, you can, don't know if you can hear that, you can press it. And this one as well. And you can move them around. Often this one's for moving and this one's for viewing, but you can change it on the game options, so it just depends. Then you have the back and the start button, which can also be used as menu buttons on games. Don't turn on, it's turning on. Okay, I think I'm going to take the batteries out. There we go. I should have done this earlier, I'm so sorry. Unfortunately there was like out of stock of controls in the shop, so I had to bring my own home for viewing, because the viewing one like got lost or something. Then you have this button here, which you hold for turning the remote on, and you hold again for turning the control off, basically. It also has a light that comes on around it to show how many people you have, and I forgot to show you on here. This one has little dots at the bottom which show how many people you have on your game. Then you have the sync button, which is right here. You don't have to open up the back. You also have these, which I guess is sort of equivalent to this one here. Then here you can have a headset thing where you can speak to friends that you're playing on the Xbox with, and you can also have a card that goes in here, and I don't know what that does. Then you have the back here, and you just press and open for the batteries, which go in here. So I'll show you how to put these in. So this one's minus, and here it says which one's minus and which one's plus, so that's pretty good. Plus is up here. Okay. So that's pretty much the controls. Okay. That's basically the controls. This also, it can vibrate, so while you're playing an action game or whatever, if there's like an earthquake or something during the game, then you can it like shakes and stuff, so that's pretty cool. Okay, I'm now going to show you a few of the Wii games. Have you decided yet what you want? Not yet? Okay, that's fine. I'll go through the different types of games that you can get. there's quite a lot of different ones. So on the side of the games it shows what type of game it is. I'm not too sure on the code. Hold on. So you've got different colours. It's often whether it's family friendly or not. Okay, so we're going to start with the basics. You can have this one, and this is Mario Kart Wii. It's probably the most well-known Wii game ever. After Wii Sports. Wii Sports is the game you get with it, unless you have a deal, which means you can get this and another game. So what you do on this, do you know what you do on this? It's just like a driving game, except with like items and stuff that you collect and all that. You can obviously use different controls on this. It's up to 4 players. You can use this is called a nunchuck, by the way, this little thing here that connects to it. You can use either a nunchuck or a wheel. You can connect to if you have a PS4 controller, I think it's PS something controller, and it says if you have a connectable I think it's quite an old Xbox controller you can connect to, because it needs the wire obviously. So yeah, so the controllers don't really matter, it's just if you're buying a game from here then we will give you that controller. You'll have to buy a different one if you want a different controller with it. Okay. So yeah, it's 3 and plus, so that's definitely family friendly, and it's got a green sticker, which means I think that means family friendly. So the next one, I'm not really going to go into detail with Wii Sports, because it's basically just different sports you can use with the nunchuck, and the goes up to 4 players. It's the normal Wii remote connected to the nunchuck that you can use. And it's ages 7 and up. I'm going to show you one more family game. Hold on, let's see. I'm going to show you 2 more, family games, just to give you a variation of different games before you choose. So you have the family games do tend to be quite young ages. So it tends to be like 3 and plus, like these 2. They are both 3 and plus. They do all have ages on, so you know what they are. And it's also family friendly because there's a green thing on, like this one does as well. They all have green stickers on them. Okay, so this one is Rayman Raving Rabbids. I chose the 2 because it's more recent, but you can also have the 1. They're both like the same sort of game, and I think this is really fun. You can have like different missions and stuff, different games, sorry, and it's like pretty much every game that you can think of. You can dress up your rabbits, you can play games, like be in a band, play memory games, and it's basically like different countries you go to. They're basically set in different places and they're themed to that country. So yeah, you can use a nunchuck and 4 players. So yeah, I think that game's pretty fun. If you're wanting that, then it's definitely a good game. Okay, Mario Party 8, which is very good for all ages from 3 upwards. You basically go through loads of levels. It's like it's laid out as a board game, except you have mini games. You can collect stars, and you can basically level up, and you can collect coins and stars and stuff. So it's very good computerized board game with a lot of extras because it's computerized. And you can choose from loads of different characters. You can be up to 4 players with the nunchuck. A lot of them are 4 players. You can't go past 4 players, unfortunately, on like with the different. If you have loads of remotes, then that's your maximum. But if you're playing live, then you can play with not live. Sorry, too used to the Xbox. You can play online. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty much any age, to be honest. I think they choose 3 and up because if you're not older than 3, you won't really understand what's going on.